Hello my little Ignite Fitness family, welcome back to the mat. Today I've got a nice little morning yoga routine for you. So all you need for today is a mat underneath your feet. You can grab some water if you'd like to stay hydrated through this practice. Otherwise, just get on down to your mat, find a nice comfortable seat, and let's start our practice together. Opie's joining us today again. He seems to be kind of glued to my side with the kids gone back to school, so if he's hanging around here, might be climbing all over me, but that's okay. That's the best part about yoga, right? We center ourselves. Doesn't matter if our dogs or our kids are jumping on us. We're zen, right? Okay. Coming into this nice seated position, guys, just take your hands to top your knees. We're just gonna find our breath. Begin to really expand the lungs. Feel free to close your eyes if that feels good to you today. Awareness to that breath, finding some evenness in those inhales and exhales. Beautiful. From here, we're just going to take our body, we're just going to rock it side to side, finding some space in that lateral side body, just opening everything up, lifting the heart, keeping things open. You do that just by giving a nice little rotation there. You can take your gaze up towards the ceiling, or you can keep it out in front of you. Whatever feels good to you today. Beautiful. Coming back through center, we're going to find a nice little spinal twist here, and we're just going to flow through that twist. If you're lucky, you'll get a few cracks and pops today. Staying aware of the breath, keeping the inhales and exhales nice and flowy, deep, really drawing that breath all the way deep into your belly. Lovely, last one. Oh, there's my pop, and come back to center. Just find a nice little shoulder rotation. We're going to take our ear and drop it towards our shoulder, whichever one to start with. Finding a nice stretch there, and coming toward the other side, ear to shoulder. And one more time on the other side. Back to the other side again. Beautiful. Bring that head center, and we're just going to take it into a full roll. We'll go 2 in one direction, and then we'll switch, and we'll take it all the way around the other side, really creating that nice space through our neck. Oh, it feels so good. Beautiful. Coming down to your back, guys. We're going to start down here. A little different today. Taking the hands behind the thighs and rolling down nice and slow. We're going to hug our knees in towards our chest. Finding some space, some rounding through the spine. We're just going to get you to rock side to side. Kind of finding a little rolling motion even. Massaging that low back on the mat. Waking everything up nice and slow. Beautiful. Rolling it out. You can take your knees here and roll them open and close. Working through the hips, warming them up. Beautiful. And bring them through and rotate them the other way. Working that external and internal rotation. Beautiful. Come back to center, hug them in tight. Draw the nose all the way to your knees, rounding through everything. Beautiful. We're just going to rock slowly up until we're back into our seat. Oh, beautiful. Just sit here. Just find some length through the spine. Come back to that breath and just find that nice pulse. Squeeze the belly in tight, lifting the chest, pulling like as if visioning as if there's something tugging you straight from the top of your head. Just really feel that expansion in the back. Beautiful. Love it. Alright guys, tucking the toes right underneath. We're going to come straight into a child's pose. So sitting our bum onto our heels, taking the knees out mat width, reaching those fingertips forward. Oh, beautiful. Opening up through that shoulder girdle, reaching those fingers all the way to the end of the mat. Really leaning into that breath work today. Oh, it feels so nice. We'll walk our hands all the way over to one side of the mat, stretching out one lateral side of the body. And walk it to the other. Beautiful. Finding a little bit more length with each breath. And back to center. Keeping the hands out here, we're going to draw the knees in, bringing the chest to the mat. Back it up a little bit. Coming into a puppy pose. Bringing the chin towards the mat, drawing the belly in, keeping the toes just slightly apart. Really opening up through the chest. Lovely. Slowly begin to walk those hands back in and meet in tabletop here. Just take a second to find that nice strong table. Drawing the belly in tight in your Uddiyana Bandha, your belly lock, planting the palms of those hands nice and wide, really pressing through all 10 fingers. From here, we're going to tuck our toes and press back up, hips towards the sky, chin and chest towards the upper thighs. Beautiful, finding that down dog. Let's walk our feet out here, finding some length in the back of those calves and the hamstrings. Walking our dog today, keeping the gaze in between the toes, looking towards the back wall. Beautiful. Let's begin to find some stillness here. Holding for one more big breath. Lovely. From here, we're going to walk the toes in to meet the wrists. Coming in, we're going to bend our knees. Come to a nice rounded back. And we'll press our hips up towards the sky. Bending the knees, dropping the bum, finding that nice opening through the cervical and lumbar spine. Oh, lovely. Pressing it back up. And bending the knees one more time. And press it up. We're going to inhale, come into a halfway lift. It's coming into a nice flat back, keeping with that belly lock. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale, we're going to scoop the arms all the way up, coming up towards the sky, drawing the hands to heart center. Finding a moment of stillness before releasing the arms down into your nice strong mountain pose. Woo! Option to close your eyes here. Challenge the balance. And on your next inhale, we're going to sweep the arms all the way back up towards the sky, drawing them through a heart center as we come back into that forward fold. Hands to the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold it forward. Option to step or hop the legs back into high plank, finding a little bit of stillness here. Inhaling strength and exhaling doubt. Slowly begin to bend the elbows, bringing that belly all the way to the mat, slowly releasing the toes. To the mat, we're going to press up into Baby Cobra. Lifting through that chest, exhaling it down. Inhale it up. Exhale down. Inhale up one more time. Exhale it down. Tucking the toes, bracing the palms against the mat. We're going to squeeze it back up into high plank and press back into our down dog. Beautiful. Taking the moment to find your stillness here. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up towards the sky, bending the knee to open up the hip. Straighten it once more. Bend at the hip, keeping the hip bones parallel to the mat. And straighten. We're going to swoop it all the way to the right elbow, knee to elbow. Pressing it back up towards the sky. Coming through, pressing the knee to the left elbow. Coming through, Pressing it all the way up to the sky. This time we're going to draw the knee all the way through our hand, coming into our seated pigeon. So drawing the knee in, it's nice and bent. The hips are parallel, facing forward. Keeping the chest lifted. Drawing the breath, flooding that muscle with oxygen, releasing through the glute here. Just brace your hands on the mat as you breathe. Option to stay here, or if it feels good to your practice today, you can slowly walk the hands down, placing them in front of you and bringing your head to rest on your hands. Being aware of your hip placement, making sure that we're stacked, we're not leaning, we're stacked over that muscle. Breathe here. Really taking all the oxygen that you can and sending it mind to muscle, straight into that flooding with all that nutrient-rich oxygen. Releasing any tension we hold in that muscle. Holding for one more round of breath. And we'll slowly begin to walk ourselves back up and out of that pigeon pose, back through high plank, and pressing back to our down dog. From here, we're going to lift the left foot up towards the sky, bending through the knee to open up that hip, straightening out that leg, and bending one more time. Point the toe towards the sky. This time, we're going to bring that left knee to the left elbow, working through those abdominal muscles, pressing it back towards the sky. This time, left knee to right elbow, crossing the body and pressing it all the way back. Beautiful, bringing it all the way through to our seated pigeon pose. Taking a moment to adjust your body. There's no rush here, guys. Find that position. Play around with the foot position. If you have a lot of mobility in your hips and you can take your leg all the way out, that's great. I personally don't. So I keep it slightly more bent so that I can keep my hips parallel to the mat. Finding the length through the spine. Big inhale. And if you'll walk it down with me, you may do so now. Nice and slowly finding that comfortable position. Finding a nice balance between stretch and relaxation. Allowing the breath to be your guide. Keeping the tummy drawn in. And from here, we'll slowly begin to walk it up again, pressing out of that pigeon into our high plank and pressing back to down dog. On your next inhale, you're going to look between the hands, hop or step it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it forward. From here, we're going to come into a nice little ragdoll. So grabbing opposite elbows and just rocking it out here. Finding some space in the back. Just enjoying this beautiful stretch here, rocking side to side. Maybe you bounce it a little. Really leaning into the space that we're creating on the posterior side of our bodies. Beautiful. Place the hands onto the mat. Inhale, half lift one more time. Exhale, folding it forward. Inhale, scooping those arms all the way up towards the sky and bringing them down to heart center. Just my top for you. Beautiful. From here, we're going to sink ourselves down into chair pose. So dropping the bum down towards the mat, keeping the feet nice and close together, and the hands to heart center. We're going to focus again on that belly lock, keeping everything held tight. From here, we're going to take our arms up, taking the biceps towards the ears. This perhaps wasn't the best shirt that I could have worn on yoga day. Keeping everything in nice and tight, nice flat back. We're going to press it up here, up, really taking that gaze up towards the sky, reaching those fingers and bending into chair pose once again. Let's do that again. Lift it up, reach for the skies, finding a nice soft back bend. Bringing it back down into chair pose. And last time, pressing it up towards the sky. Beautiful. From here, bringing the hands back to heart center. Finding a moment of stillness and breath. Beautiful. We're going to find our balance on our left foot. We're going to step the right leg back into a nice high lunge, crescent pose. Scooping the arms down by your side. We're going to sweep them all the way up and lift. And we're just going to find a nice little flow here. Bending through that front knee, coming up, not quite too straight before we're sweeping back down. Finding a nice flowy motion here. Working through that front leg, strengthening and lengthening. As well as moving with our breath here. Keeping the chest up, lifted, proud. And we're going to hold here. Lifting up, finding that space in the hip flexor right here. Opening up. We hold so much tension there. As humans tend to be sedentary more than we move as a result of our daily jobs. So this is such a good stretch. Beautiful. Bringing the hands back in. We're going to push off that back foot. Coming back through center. This time stepping the left foot back. Finding that nice strong crescent lunge. Swooping the arms back. Let's press in and lift. And find our flow. Oxygenating the muscles, waking them up for the day. Beautiful, last one, and we'll scoop back to that crescent lunge, pressing into that, leaning into that beautiful hip flexor stretch. And we'll press off that back foot, bringing us back to center, hands to heart center, and coming back to our nice, strong mountain pose. Breathing here. Beautiful. This time we're going to inhale, sweep the arms all the way up towards the sky, hands through heart center as we fold it forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold it down, plant the hands towards the mat, option to hop or step back, float back, finding that nice, strong, high plank. We're going to move through chaturanga here. So option to drop to your belly and move through cobra. Otherwise, we're bending the knees, the elbows, pressing through, tucking those toes, finding that nice, beautiful upward dog before tucking our toes back into our down dog. Beautiful. Leaning into this wonderful stretch, embracing it for all that it is, honoring your body, respecting your body. You get lots of love and oxygen this morning. Beautiful. We're just going to drop to our knees here, guys, tucking the legs through and coming back through center here. We're going to come into boat pose. So taking the hands behind the thighs. Slowly going to begin to lift one leg and then the other. You can stay here, balancing on the sacrum, or you can take your arms out in front of you, or if you have it in your practice, to take them overhead. It's definitely more of a challenge. hold it here. Breathing through it. You're doing amazing, guys. You've got this. Lovely. Let's hug those knees in. And we're going to press into that boat pose one more time. Remembering to breathe. Allow that oxygen to flow. Grab behind the thighs, plant the feet to the floor. We're going to come down onto our back. Beautiful. Opening the knees, reaching for either the inside of the heels. Perhaps you grab your big toes, hook them with your feet, and coming into a nice happy baby. Breathing deeply here as we open up those hips. And like happy babies do, if it feels good to you to rock around on your mat, finding a little bit of a deeper stretch, a little bit of a deeper opening. You can. This has to be one of my most favorite things to do. It feels so great on the back to just roll around in this position. Lovely, guys. We'll release those feet down to the mat. We're going to come into a nice little supine twist. So taking the arms out to the side, I'm going to drop both knees to one side, taking the gaze out over the opposite hand. If you'd like to press those knees down, and depending on where you are in your practice, you have the option to hook the top leg over the bottom and just find a slightly deeper stretch. And we're going to roll over to the other side. Same option on the opposite side. If it feels good to hook that top leg over the bottom, you can do so wherever you are in your practice, guys. Remembering and acknowledging that it changes day to day. Some days we might be bendy and flexible, and other days we might be sturdy and strong. Our bodies are constantly evolving and changing. We just honor and respect it and meet it wherever it's at. Release it, guys, and coming back through center. I'm just going to release the feet, release the hands. Bring the hands to the belly if that feels good to you. Placing one above the other. Coming into our final pose, Shavasana, corpse pose. Option to close your eyes or take a 9/10 shot. Just find that breath. Thank your body for meeting you here today. Thank yourself for honoring your body, respecting it, loving it, caring for it. Setting it up for a day of work or adventure, whatever you have in store. Yourself a few moments of complete and utter stillness before the day takes it away. If you need more time in Shavasana, feel free to take it. We're slowly going to come back, drawing our knees in first. Slowly flitting the eyes open. We're turning to our side and pressing up into our easy seat. Crisscrossing the legs, drawing the hands together. And if it feels comfortable to you, you can draw the tips of your fingers towards the third eye. Thank you so much for joining me today, for taking this time to not only care but nurture your body, your mind, and your soul. I hope this practice sets you up for the day to feel good, calm, and energized.